Hey.
Can they hear you?
Can they hear you? We had that panic last time.
Can anyone truly hear anyone in this world?
I think
I don't know.
have the stream open.
I'm in a weird...
Already in an existential crisis.
Yeah. And we're going down the rabbit hole again.
Hi, I was not ready to go live despite me being the one to make us go live. Well, things happen. Let's talk about that. Anyway, that's how you do an intro, right? I will... It's aesthetic now for me not to have mastered how to go live on this podcast.
That's always a sign of a good intro when you say, I'm so sorry.
I am so sorry. Yeah, so... words are coming out of my mouth.
Take your time.
Road to Elturel. Okay, I apologise. My brain is not functioning and has not been all day, but we're here, so it's fine. Road to Elturel, we left Scornabel.
Finally.
Hattie retrieved an egg.
Yeah.
Which has transmutation magic in it.
Yeah. We got some mysterious herbs without knowing what exactly we were getting.
Even Jags as a DM was just like, you get some herbs.
Some herbs.
And what else has happened? Words are happening within my mind, but they are not sentences.
We got some information, like player information. Our characters do not yet know yet about Tamil versus Krieg, about two people fighting for the High Overseer status, basically.
Yeah.
And Tamil basically saying that Krieg killed them.
Yeah, I remember that happening.
Yeah, well, not necessarily that like he murdered them, but like she knew that he was taking part in something much darker, and her guards were basically sent into certain death.
Yeah.
Yes. No, I remember that. I was in this session.
You
I was at the very beginning of the session. Yeah.
I was so focused on that egg, man. That egg is being watched.
For those who don't know about the egg, we need an explanation.
So Hattie decided that the correct way in which we would quickly be able to get herbs, was that the plan?
Yeah.
Was to go talk to a lady at a coffee shop known as Alice
Cobonso, the most fake name ever.
Yeah.
Who has a chicken, who just kind of sits next to her
in a piece
like coffee table, and
like a nest of shawls.
Yeah. And to get the information about the herbs, Hattie in return agreed to look after this egg, which she found out was hella magic, to quote Jack.
Magic as fuck, I think.
Magic as fuck.
You vibe checked the egg to conclude it was magic as fuck.
And you rolled a natural 20. This egg is magic as fuck.
Yeah.
Not sure what magic, but it is hella magic.
I vibe checked that egg so hard.
Without breaking it.
I didn't break the egg. Not to brag. Thank you. That was worthy of a round of applause, Naomi. That was fucking brilliant.
It was certainly surprising.
It was actually, And on closer inspection, it was transmutation magic. So, what do we think the egg will turn into, / what do we think has been turned into an egg?
I want to dispel it to just find out.
I think whatever's inside has been turned into something that is no longer a chicken.
Yeah.
What are we? Dragon? Baby
Pseudo-dragon.
Pseudo-dragon?
Just to discuss dragon for a bit.
Just a sentient chicken?
Yeah. Well, the fact that it's a porcelain egg, so it makes me think like it's not going to be anything living. It might be an object. And the other thing is that it's not a detriment if it's broken, because I think Alex explained that if it breaks, you need mending to fix it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That is kind of sus. If there's nothing in there, like the only reason that breaking wouldn't reveal anything is if there wasn't anything in the egg, right?
Yeah. Sus. Does it need like warmth? Like we didn't get any like an instruction manual or anything.
No, it's just like hold the egg and don't break it, and if it breaks, you can use mending.
Yeah, and Arthur's after it.
Yeah, and we'll need it at some point. I'll come back and get it. that was the thing, right?
Yeah,
They were like,
she would
just
appear
hold on
from
to it.
nowhere to check up to see how it
Yeah.
is.
It's like, hey, what's up with the egg? And we're like, we don't know.
Yeah. She's a
What
hag,
egg?
basically.
Yeah.
It's another
Yeah.
hag deal
Made
that
another
we've got.
deal with another hag, yeah.
I
What is
think-
it with this group of hags, man?
I don't know. Those are hell interesting stories, though. They are our side
That's
quest
true.
areas. Whenever there's a hag, it's our side quest.
It was very weird because like when they were like, you need to hold on to this egg for like an hour, and then when I've got the herbs, you can give it back. And then when they got the herbs and delivered them to us, they were like, you can keep
I'll
it.
keep it.
Yeah. And we were like, okay.
But I think she
sure.
was doing that as a test to see, like, if we could do it.
Yeah, what we do with it.
But she's trying to give an incentive for Hattie to say, hey, don't break this because I'm going to ask for it back later. But instead, it was just a test for her to see if Hattie could have, like, the self-control to not break the egg.
Yeah.
I also think it's interesting that means for an hour we just stood outside a coffee shop and like there wasn't any conversation. It was just Hattie holding an egg and everyone like standing in silence.
Just observing you.
Oh, what a ride. What else
I did.
happened?
I was kind of hoping that you would throw the egg up in the air and it will break.
And try
And
catching it.
Scary.
I was IRL terrified. I was like, I don't know what's happening. I've been handed like this. It wasn't what my response would be IRL if I was handed an egg. I was just like, I have fear.
Someone Danny
And
DeVito'd
an
you.
egg.
And you just give it an egg.
No brain, no thoughts, just fear and egg.
Oh, my egg.
Thank you, brain, for providing that enlightening sentence. What else happened? We had an agreement to the deal. Did that happen this session?
It happened
up with
last
it.
session.
I think this was just like our first test to see, like, could we still function and not be as overly secretive because we are technically being watched.
Yeah. You mentioned that. Were you just leaving Carmen? Or were you trying to
No, I'm
hide
trying to see if
heaven?
you can dim the lights because it's like I feel like I'm in heaven. Like it's
To be fair, you're
kind
still
of
in shot
annoying.
if you move over there. You are still in shot if you move to cover up heaven.
Well, it doesn't work. It's the same
Just
lighting.
halos.
It's halo effects. It's
Yeah.
kind of cut out on the stream though. It's wonderful
Sure.
halo effect. Anyway, I don't know why my brain is like this today. I blame a long phone conversation.
Here's another thing that I thought was kind of weird. If Artaxis has been casting scrying on us this whole time, we haven't rolled a single wisdom saving throw, have we?
No, we did.
So is it just like
We have. We have.
Yeah.
There was a wisdom saving throw after the battle where Kaya got petrified.
It's
He
happened-
It
randomly asked Hattie make a wisdom saving throw.
That's true. Yeah, that happens.
It's happened a couple of times in which it's just.
He never explains
hasn't it?
why.
Like,
Yeah.
We've been on the road once when it happened.
Just roll
Yeah.
a wisdom saving throw real
I
fast.
can't remember. Well,
The
I
thing
can't
is-
remember.
The
what
thing
I
is, because
ate for
it
breakfast.
isn't given any context or anything. It's not like, and then this happens. Like it's just like, oh, just do this for me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just
And, like,
And it's
quickly
always
roll.
after something, like after someone's cast a specific spell, or like
Yeah.
after a certain hour of a spell being dropped. He usually just says, "Hey, random person who's not technically involved in this spell, make a wisdom saving throw," not just
Yeah.
randomly.
But it hasn't
okay.
happened
So he just kind of
tons.
slips it in. He hides it.
Yeah. He
Yeah.
does a really he does a really good job of hiding it.
Mhm.
Carmen, you were saying before we went live, this is what happens. We just talk about this before we go live, and then I'm like, I should probably be broadcasting this. The purpose of us getting together is to do this live, not in private. But you were saying how you tried to throw off what spell we were getting herbs for?
Yeah. I was like, okay, I'm not sure if I want to make the deal with Alice because I'm like, would we want to get another hag deal? Because like basically everyone in the group, the original high five, made a deal with the hags back by the Misty Forest.
Yeah.
Reina
Way
got
back.
the haversack, but she didn't really make a deal or anything. And I was like, okay, Reina would not trust this woman to get the herbs they need. Because that's also a thing I mentioned in chat, like after the game, the day after the game. We didn't check if the herbs are the right ones.
No,
Because the thing is, we have
but we had no
way-
reference. We didn't know
No.
what they were.
We just took them and we left.
Yeah.
So we don't know if the sacks are completely filled with the same herbs, if they're the right ones. We have no clue.
We should have checked that.
Yeah.
Checked that.
But like, that's why I went to the cloister to kind of get away from the group and isolate Reina because she has dependent, of course. And to just kind of get the herbs we need from a reliable source. And then I was like, okay, I'm gonna throw in resurrection here, not reincarnation, resurrection, because that kind of makes us sound like we are trying to keep Snipe alive, but not in the way we are really trying to keep Snipe alive.
Yeah. Like it's more a worst case scenario fix rather than a immediate how can we get out of all this shit kind of. Yeah.
And
it's an interesting idea. I don't know if it would work simply because I think Artaxis would probably know what is needed for a resurrection spell. And since we're not buying what is needed for a resurrection spell.
Yeah, I'm curious if Artaxis knows that, because he's a demon lordling and he specializes in charming. And I'm curious if he really knows anything about healing spells.
That's a good question.
Well, he doesn't know that reincarnation's on the table, because one of the smaller reasons why Snipe gave the pendant to Reina is because they knew that if Kaya was going to contact anyone, they'd contact Snipe. Yeah. And because the business is involving how to save Snipe. So they thought, if Kaya sends a message, if the pendant's on me, maybe he can read minds in some kind of way, or he has that kind of access to know what's going on.
Yeah.
So if Kaya sends, his reincarnation, then he'd think, Snipe's found a way out of getting this deal, I'm not going to let it happen.
Yeah.
That's actually interesting, because if we know that he's using scrying to spy on us, right, and we have to roll wisdom saving throws before he can spy on us, then we can pinpoint what moments he has been spying on us, and we would be able to kind of understand that. I mean, at least since they have been separated, Kaya and Seymour have not been spied on, ? So that would mean
I'm curious, because like
he would be kind of oblivious to the fact that we're trying this reincarnation thing.
I am curious, because like because we dispelled the pin that looked like an eye. Like I believe that was the way he was looking at us at the beginning. But I'm curious, because there is a spell, and I have prepared it. Like, let me look it up. It's a cleric spell where it's Clairvoyancy, I believe. But I'm not sure if you can cast it on an object.
Wait, Clairvoyance itself is a spell that you can look through like walls with. It's not really a long distance surveillance.
Yeah, it's an invisible sensor within range of a location familiar to you. Yeah, no, that's not it. I think that he not really scryed on us. He kind of had dependent on us, and that's the way he tracked us, basically listened to us.
Yeah.
Now that's dispelled, and now he gave it back to us.
But here, that's what I thought too, but then we got that information from the ranger that he was using a bowl, and a bowl, a 1,000 gold piece bowl is what you need for a scrying spell.
Yeah.
And if he had a sensor, I'm guessing that maybe the sensor either made it easier to scry on us.
Yeah, like maybe he was scrying on the object.
Yeah, I think he was scrying on the object. I think that's what
way,
like a two-way mirror.
Yeah.
But then it's confusing. Maybe he was using several methods, because if he was just scrying on the object, then depending on how you use scrying, it would mean he would have he could only see us through his like periphery. And two, why would we be throwing wisdom saving throws randomly?
Yeah.
I think it's a mix of both.
I think so too.
Because it's probably easier to scry on an object. Like it's easier to scry on the pin because you don't need a wisdom saving throw from the pin because it's not possible.
Yeah.
So I think it's a mix of like being able to scry on the object and then listen to the surrounding therewith, like listen to what we're talking about.
And if he hears something interesting but can't see what's going on, he then properly fully scries on us.
Yeah, I think the best we can do is just hope that he hasn't been crying.
Crying. Oh, we hope he's been crying.
Crying is a free action.
He can't scrying at least the 5th level scrying spell. You can't scry on an object. You can scry on a creature, or you can scry on a location.
Are there different forms of scrying, or something similar to scrying?
There's a spell called Arcane Eye. I don't remember what exactly it does. Let me take a look.
I think the best we can do is hope that he hasn't been scrying on Kaya and Seymour while they've been away from us.
Well, we could know, because at least we can know with relative certainty that he probably hasn't been, because we don't have the pendant and we haven't rolled any wisdom saving throws since we split
The only way he'd be able to know is if Kaya scryed back at him, because we had the opportunity to scry at him in the Lonely Tower and he saw us through it. So,
maybe
he'd know.
Start scrying on him just regularly, like even though he knows, just like pop in just to say,
I feel like as soon as reincarnation is done and we know for certainty what the deal is with like how Snipe is and like where their demon is, then we should scry on him, because it's just as a, like in Snipe's mind, it's a way to just like annoy him, because if you can't kill him, you may as well just make his life a living hell.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, just like a fly that won't go out the window.
Yeah.
Just kind of
And create our own
around.
special circle of hell for you lot.
Just gonna taunt you all day, every day.
Oh, that would be Hattie would love that. It's like that post online where it's like, I don't want to be an assassin, I just want to be a hired arsehole and just like be irritating to everyone. Like barking too close to them. That's what I want in life. That's what Hattie wants in life.
Yeah.
I'm curious, the moment when Snipe get reincarnated, do they want to get rid of the pin?
Not sure really.
Ooh.
It'd be interesting. I don't know. Snipe's got this kind of weird thing with like the majority of the stuff, the amulets they took because they knew they had some kind of charm effect and some people were looking for them, and they just wanted to kind of like offset bad people getting hold of very powerful objects by just saying, well, if it's not there, then they can't do that kind of
What
shit.
if they destroy it or leave it at Candlekeep?
Yeah, I really don't think it would be a good idea for us to keep carrying the pin around if we don't have to.
No.
Yeah.
Although I feel like, if we get rid of it, it's still gonna come back to us.
Yeah. Well, maybe if we leave it on under someone's protection that keeps an eye on it.
Yeah.
And puts it in like a box that's like no way getting out of it.
Yeah.
Put it in a lead box, Candlekeep will probably have a way around it. Or
it might be an
practitioner
indicator, though, because the only reason it's on Snipe at the moment is because Snipe is still part of the demon deal they had to get Snipe's demon. So the day we get rid of the pendant and it doesn't come back is the day that Artaxis has technically won and doesn't need the human side of Snipe anymore, like has got the demon.
That's a good point. But up until... I think it's a good indicator, but I think the dangers for us as a group are kind of gets like the balance isn't quite there yet.
I think we should definitely if it comes to that, prioritize getting rid of the pendant.
Yeah. The moment Snipe gets reincarnated and is like okay again, then we need to get rid of it.
Yeah.
I think it would make like Reina wants to get rid of it right now, but she's probably gonna hold on to it, and like whenever Snipes is dead, like really dies, before the reincarnation spell has occurred, she might try to put it on you.
I'm not sure about, I feel like we should put the pendant on Snipe if Snipe goes below like 5.
Yeah.
I don't think we should put it on after Snipe dies, because then it might be too late.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also have
What's
gentle
the
request.
achievement for it? What's the achievement? Is it instantaneous or?
No, attunement lasts
An hour.
Takes a minute, 10 minutes, an hour, somewhere
I believe
something like
there
that.
was short rest.
Somewhere between instantaneous and an hour. It's
It's a short rest, I believe.
okay.
Well, death can constitute as a short rest.
You heard it here.
You need to
Heard it
concentrate
here.
on the object attune to it.
I also
Although I don't think Reina needed to attune to it, right? So
yeah, that's what I mean. Like it was an instantaneous effect.
Yeah.
Here's what I was going to share with you guys. I was going to share with you the specificities of the book that Hattie is making as a way of getting around the having to hand in a book to Candlekeep to get the crew into Candlekeep.
Yeah.
Because she just wants to play bumper cars with you at Candlekeep. Okay, so once
everything's out the way and we're like free to spend some free time.
Yeah, bumper cars. Also, there's a friend she wants you to meet. Okay, I will just read out Jags' message. Alright, here's the scoop. Once per session, Hattie can use downtime to work on the book. Whenever Hattie works on the book, we'll talk about the content, and then Hattie will make a flat intelligence check to see if she can capture the story in writing. Depending on how the check goes, the chance Candlekeep will accept it will go up or down or stay the same. It starts at 1% chance to get the party in, but can't drop below 1%. If Hattie gets a proofreader...
Just watch.
You get an advantage on intelligence checks. There will probably be an opportunity for additional bonuses if finishing / bookbinding process, but that will be after Hattie feels like the book is done. And the same person cannot... I wish I hadn't asked this, because I was like, can the proofreader be anyone, or if do they have to have certain proficiencies? He responded saying, same person can't give you advantage more than 3 times. No, they give. Sorry, that was my bad. I didn't read the full messages. Number of times they can give me advantage is equal to their intelligence modifier. So Reina could give more feedback than Seymour could, and I assume all NPCs can only help once.
Here's another thing. I don't know if this would be helpful, and may or may not be, but Kaya is proficiency in forgery. Does have proficiency in forgery. So they're like a decent like calligrapher. They can write very nicely and know how to like
use another handwriting.
Books.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay. That's
I don't know if that would be helpful or not.
Yeah.
Jenks, question for
Yeah.
you. Is proficiency in forgery helpful with proofreading?
or maybe just in like the bookbinding process, maybe you can just make it look hella fancy. But no, I like that there is a way.
I would hope that, the epicenter of all knowledge would not judge a book by its cover.
Well,
knowledge
okay.
is knowledge. Jesus, knowledge is knowledge.
Knowledge is indeed knowledge. I will say that is very true.
It's knowledge.
Knowledge is many things, but knowledge is knowledge. It's the most true statement.
Someone put that in woke quotes immediately, because ladies and gentlemen, knowledge is knowledge.
There you go.
That is on par with life needs things to live.
Oh my. It's, sure. Put in woke quotes.
Yeah. Knowledge is knowledge, ladies
and gentlemen. Knowledge, yeah, no. It completely said it wrong, but sure, let's go with it.
It's great, though.
It's wonderful.
It's the truth.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a lie. Oh, jeez.
I misspelt knowledge as well, which is just like really sells it.
What an incredible quote. Someone got that as a tattoo. Fuck, what was I gonna say? I like that the stories that we're kind of creating have a like the ability to be written down and turned into like a thing.
Yeah.
And I kind of like the idea of how do you keep coming back with all of these stories, and then like in 5 years' time, like we're renowned adventurers simply because our stories are in Candlekeep and therefore people think we're important. Just because of where the stories are, but actually it's just like a 5-6 weirdos just ambling around a
messing
continent.
around,
yeah. Picking up shit that they don't need to fuck up.
Yeah. Carrying eggs. And many bags of herbs. So Kaya and Seymour are off. You made this decision without Seymour.
I did.
You are off trying to save someone's life after talking to some grass, which isn't a sentence I thought I'd say.
But there we are.
Many people would think you'd be high at that point.
On the grass, or
talking to the grass you were on.
Oh, just stop it, someone pet.
And it said, "Follow the blood into the forest."
Yeah, what was the thought process? Was it just revenge on us fucking around for a month? Or
I was real bored that session. No, the thing was I just wanted something to do, if I'm being honest. And I thought, okay, two options here. The one choice I get to make this session, either we go past this and ignore it, and I'm just on the road for another day while they fucking around and juggle eggs or whatever they're gonna do next session. Or, go figure out what this blood thing is about and see what you find. So it was generally a very easy decision to make for me. I think if Dave were there, he would have probably made the same decision.
Agreed.
Because I love listening to you guys fuck around.
But you also want to do something.
Joy in life, it really is. But after 4 sessions,
it's still a game, and you also want to play the game.
Yeah,
I completely understand it.
I would like to do something.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I also think you're getting a head start on what we're actually trying to do.
Yeah, I think so too.
Following the destruction or whatever we're meant to be doing. Like I literally just think you're.
And it would be really funny if me and Seymour once again finish your mission before you even get to the mission, now for the second time.
Yeah.
Oh, great.
It's funny in a horrible, ironic way.
Yep.
Jesus, what a time we're having in Outero. Or not in Outero. That's
It's
the problem.
Outerguard.
We're never gonna
Outerguard.
get an Elturel.
Yeah.
Yeah, we need to
We'll get
accept
there.
that now.
One day.
One day.
But not
One day
today.
we'll get there. And that when that day happens, it will be a wonderful day.
Yeah.
We
I'm
won't
not
be there
even
to
sure
witness
we're
it.
gonna get there, if I'm honest with you. I'm like, it feels like the idea of going to Outero is like, it feels like, you know when you sit around with your friends and you're like having a drink, and you're like, yeah, we'll go and we'll meet up sometime, or like we'll
I'll talk to you later
yeah,
on WhatsApp.
It feels like all of the stupid promises you make that never really come into fruition. That's what being on the road to Outero, going to Outero feels like. It's like,
Yeah,
it's never
saying,
gonna
like,
happen.
I'm
but
gonna
it's a
text
nice
you about
dream.
when we can meet again. Let's
Yeah.
text and see when we can meet again, or go out for lunch, and it never happens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
God, that's a sad reality of our times.
Going out for lunch in this economy?
True.
In this world?
international panini. Oof.
Mm.
Man.
What a breakdown to have live. Anyway.
The same one we've had for the past year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I am allowed to go to work again. It's very weird.
What?
I yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah, in 2 weeks I have to go back to work.
Yeah.
I don't wanna.
I'm gonna get stabbed next week. My second stab.
Nice.
And then next semester, we're probably gonna be on campus without masks because everyone in my school will be vaccinated, or at least we'll be in person. Maybe we'll still need to have masks. We'll see about that.
Yeah.
Nice.
I think I'm gonna stick with the mask thing. I kind of like it.
Same.
Yeah.
Like, I haven't had a cold. Admittedly, I haven't left the house, but I haven't had a cold. Like,
Mm-hmm.
you know, you don't get ill.
You don't get sick. You don't get a sore throat
Yeah.
or anything else. It's just you kind of.
Yeah.
It's helpful in a weird way.
People
And
don't
in the
know who
winter
you
it keeps your
are.
face warm.
They
Yeah.
don't look at your face. That's always a plus.
You can
Maybe
lip
for
sync to
them.
music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You make weird facial expressions a little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
As if
Awesome.
not wearing a face mask stopped me doing that anyway.
Oh, that also happened. Monk suit. We went to Reina.
Oh.
Talk
Oh
about
yeah.
also
Oh,
happened.
lol! You killed someone.
love. Apparently, yeah. No.
Wait,
Uh,
are they dead or
No, they're
They,
dying.
they said it's a mix of like, well, if they're dead, that's bad, and if they're alive, that's still bad. Because what happens if they're still alive with their poisoning can be very
Yeah.
bad.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Love
Reina
that for
committed
them.
the murder.
Yeah.
Reina did a little murder on the side. Little
How does
side
Reina
quest.
feel about that? How does Reina feel about Lulth?
Yeah. We never talked. Did we talk about it? We talked about it in the very
We
beginning.
did, but I feel like we need to revisit it at this point.
Mhm.
Have your feelings changed or?
I think it's given Reina a bit of perspective on what type of god she is. Because like when she went to the Misty Forest and she got asked to give this to Talise, I think it was a homemade spire pendant, something like that. When Loth asked that of Reina, Reina was like, okay, sure, I can give it a try. But she didn't really know like what it was for. Because I still kind of need to talk to Jenks about this, but Reina doesn't really understand how Lolth works.
Yeah.
She, like, you get told these stories of this god being the opposite of your god you've been following all your life, but you don't really know how it works in real life when you get to it, basically. She feels upset right now because she's like, oh, that's what you asked me to do. You basically asked me to kill someone by giving them something.
Yeah.
Okay. What the fuck? So yeah, she is upset, confused, and irritated.
Do you think Reina's gonna try to align herself with a different god now, or do you think she's gonna stick with Lolth?
I think she has a choice really now.
I think she's not going to try to find another god. That would be weird.
Another
But-
one.
No,
No, I
and then
mean one of
another
the-
one.
One
No.
of the older
Well,
ones.
Eldath is
Yeah.
there. It's just you just have to access her very hard.
I think this is not really the push to get her away from Loth. I think it's just a drop in the bucket.
Yeah.
Ooh, okay.
I think.
Why is I am curious, like what is Reina's alignment? Like what does she think? Like is she like, you know what, murder, that's like kind of fucked up, but I think I get it. I think I can vibe with it. Or is it more like
I can vibe with murder.
How I explained it to myself kind of is that she has like limits and she has borders, but she doesn't know them until she crossed far over them.
Wow. Okay.
so is murder a limit, or is it a line or a veil?
It's a veil right now. It's mainly because it's like, okay, it's not, I participated in it, but I didn't do it directly.
Yeah.
Like she did not ask me to slit someone's throat and just run away.
Nice.
She
Well,
asked me
would
to
Reina-
give this,
It's indirect murder.
yeah.
So you're just vibing with a little bit of.
She is feeling guilty. She really is.
Okay.
But also she's like, am I going to let this one thing fuck up my entire mission?
Yeah.
Am
What
I
is her mission?
to hope to get to the Underdark and understand like her other family?
Yeah. Here's a question. You have gone. There was like a path to find your dad, the other half of your family, and you saw it and you were like, "That's dope." But these guys are madness. That sounds like fun. Like you could have bounced a long time ago. What's keeping Reina here? And does she feel like she's ignoring what she's meant to be doing? Or does she feel like she kind of has time for everything?
I think she feels like she has time because, of course, she's an elf. She lives like 700 years.
Yeah.
And she has been waiting for like 200 years already. So she feels like this little bit of time she can wait. And mainly because she feels obligated to go to Elturel and tell the prophecy and be like, okay, guys, we need to do something because something is gonna happen. And that's part of her mother's and stepfather's family, because like her stepfather is a paladin who always wants to do the right thing and like make sure everyone's safe, and that's kind of the thought she was raised upon, like be as good as you can be.
Yeah.
She's kind of veering off it, but it's like,
yeah, a little bit with the murder, being as good as you can be at murder.
Be the best.
yeah, but that's
murder?
also her, yeah.
I think it's so like weird and interesting because Reina and Kaya have like opposite moral compasses in a sense, because Kaya would absolutely not be okay with murder like that. If she was involved with that, she would she would get so mad at whoever coerced her into helping them with a murder plot, right? And she's definitely not be okay with any of that shit and like try to distance herself from it. But she doesn't feel any responsibility to Elturel or to help any of the people in Elturel because she can't do anything about it in her eyes. No. So it's like opposite ideas of responsibility between Reina and Kaya. Kaya's all about personal responsibility, and Reina seems to be about more of the greater good. Yeah, and still she's very selfish in a way, and I think it's also just like being unable to comprehend and understand what kind of god Lolth is and like what the society of the Drow are, like what does that entail, like what is there into how do they work. I don't understand it, and I want to understand it, and it's a part of me, and I know it's a part of me because I'm very different from my sister and like my mother. So it's not really. It's like if I'm talking about it, it's weird because like it doesn't. It's kind of bouncing off each other, and it doesn't really make sense. But it's also like her being experimental with like what can I do, like what's possible right now. What do you think would it take for Reina to either try to go back to Corellian or follow Eldath or some other god? I, to be honest, feel like she would not go back to God. She would try something else. Ooh, I think okay, that's... so Lolth is her last... like, to be honest, it kind of depends on everything that's gonna happen.
Would she abandon all gods?
If certain things happen, she would, yeah. But that's a big if.
That's interesting. You heard it here first, Janks. You can take the elk.
I've been talking to Jenks about it, yeah.
Cleric
But
has
it's
a
like,
mouth.
it's... To be honest, I'm still kind of uncertain about certain things with Reina. So I'm trying to discover them as I go.
I suppose you're basically becoming an atheist.
It could be, yeah.
In the world in which the gods are just like watching us like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
What is happening?
I wonder what
Someone get
Lol's
the-
opinion of Artaxis is. Like, if anyone was to ask, what do you think of this fucker who's just like poncing around?
Mhm.
Like, what do you think of him? I wonder what her response would be.
Yeah.
And also what she thinks about our response to our taxes and our
Mhm.
plan. Like, not
Yeah.
like, can you give us advice? Just like, what do you think?
Yeah.
Do you think we're
Yeah.
idiots for doing? Like, I'd be so curious.
Oh, she'll
It might
probably,
come
yeah,
to
she
it.
most probably definitely thinks we're idiots. I think if the Abyss has taught us anything, is that they think we're a bunch of fucking fools.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, we kind of are a bunch of fucking fools. So
Yeah. Just stings a lot more when you hear it from a higher being.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does a little bit. I'm trying to remember what Hattie was writing down in the book. Was it from?
Updates from the murder mystery.
Yeah, I think
It
it's
was
a murder
just
mystery.
the murder mystery, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mainly because you weren't with the deal with our taxes at the campfire.
Yeah.
You weren't present.
Yeah, I'm just trying to work out like how to make. What stories do you guys think would be worthy of getting into Candlekeep? The ones that we've already kind of done.
Well, what does Candlekeep want to know?
Anything, everything, just unique things.
Hmm.
The Lonely Tower, Dead Elven Civilization.
Ooh,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's a big one.
I mean, the
Yeah.
bit at... I'm just trying... Because, like, what Hattie could do is she could just write the entire Road to Ultra journey, right? However, that would only give us one access in.
You could write one on each member, and then that member would be able to get in with a book about themselves.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That's a good idea, actually.
Snipe could probably help Hattie in talking about the pendants and the amulets they've got.
Oh yeah, Snipe has the knowledge of an entire other world. Like you could just
Yeah,
Yeah.
snipe
Yeah.
thousands-
just
Kinda
sit
write
down and
everything.
give
Oh my
Snipe a pen,
gosh.
and they'll just write.
Okay.
Tell the
'cause
story of the other
thing
world.
is, there is like so much that could be written down. Would Snipe be up for that? Would Snipe be up for writing a book about it all?
Yeah. It depends,
This is
really.
how electricity works.
Yeah, different. Well, whatever they need to know,
Welcome.
because like Snipe can tell like a different
combustion
perspective of when
engines.
they were alive and human, and then when they were dead and demonic. And there's
Yeah.
like two worlds of that.
Snipe knows two other worlds.
Yeah.
What? Okay, yeah, no, we need to. Okay.
Yeah.
It's just there's like so much that's happened. Like you could start with the, like the one shot that we did, which turned into the campaign.
Yeah.
Because like being given a prophecy is pretty, you know,
Yeah.
book.
I think you can write one book about the overarching Elturel story, like with the prophecy and us going to Elturel,
Yeah.
and then you can kind of like write side chapters or side books about the other missions.
Yeah. I need.
Could write a crime watch report of the fact that there's a fucker called Artaxis who's
Crime
mincing
watch
his way
report.
around and charming people.
Yeah.
Who claims to be a demonic god. Hey, maybe you should keep an eye out for him.
Hey, yo, Artax
Submit
is
a submit a wanted dead or alive poster for Artaxis.
Not sure that would get you into Candlekeep. That's how you get jobs from Candlekeep.
It's important information.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true. I cannot write with this pen.
Yeah, I think it's important information to write down that Artaxis, whoever he was in the previous life, is no more.
Yeah.
Is that kind of the decided theory that we're going off of, that Artaxis is dead and that this is just like a
No,
takeover?
Artaxis is not dead because Artaxis specifically said that he was keeping Artaxis alive.
Mm-hmm.
So he's
Yeah.
not dead. He's just
No.
being possessed or
Yeah.
something.
Fun, love that.
Yeah.
But I think the real Artaxis will probably either have no memory or a vague memory of everything that's happening
Maybe
with his body.
he's,
Yeah.
tortured and can see everything that's going on but can't move.
Yeah.
Something like that.
That's
He's
it.
probably unconscious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright, well, I gotta go in 5 minutes, so any last questions?
If Kaya could change one decision that they've made in the time that they've been with this crew, what would it be?
not be with us.
Not be with her.
To have left immediately.
Yeah, to have gone with her friends.
To not have made any of the hag deals.
Ooh.
Ah. Yeah, that seems to be like the biggest mockery towards Kaya, that all the deals that any deals that she made with the hags are all fate related, which is the one thing that she just absolutely hates at this point.
She hated everything about being dragged into that war on Borskier Bridge. That was just a bad time for her.
Does she
that was
think
fun.
the hags know about the war that was going on?
Yeah, Kaya thinks that, they probably magically saw that a war was going to happen, so they wanted us to go there to help out with the war, and this is how they coerced us into it. She doesn't think it has anything to do with fate or fortune-telling necessarily. It's just like, they know, they have intel that a war is going to happen, so they send us there to get involved, right? It's not really, like Kaya, that's the thing also with the tarot cards and Nelly and all of that shit. If she knew that Nelly was the one that caused Seymour to like teleport ahead, she would be like, oh well, you just proved my point, it's not fate, it's just some hag mess. Like you can't, if you predict a murder and then you break into someone's house and kill them, you haven't told the future. You're just a murderer.
You're trying to
She's
rewrite your
making
own
it
fate.
happen. Yeah.
Right, so I mean, the fact that Nelly is interfering in all of this just kind of proves her point in her mind, but she doesn't know that Nelly's interfering in all of this. So to her,
But if she would know.
Yeah.
Well,
Well, she was given a hint by Granny where it's just like, she makes sure that the majority of the people who looked at her tarot cards would fulfill the destiny, which is why Granny made the box for the tarot cards.
Yeah.
Kaya did not really listen to much that Granny said in that. She listened to "Don't lose the box" and that's it.
Yeah.
Oops.
Here's
I
another
fucked
question.
up.
If this is just personal research now, but if Hattie was to ask if she could write your story out, would there be like a chunk of time that's like interesting enough of like story wise for that Kaya would let her write down using like a fake name?
If Kaya said, if Patty asked Kaya, "Can I write your story out using a fake name?" Kaya would just say no.
No?
Yeah.
Why?
Kaya doesn't like. Kaya's kind of alright. She's not super comfortable with it, but she's alright with Hattie writing about everything that's going on with Hattie that she's involved with, and then using a fake name. But if Hattie asked her to recite her life story so that she could put it in a book and keep it in Candlekeep, Kaya would go no.
Yeah, that's a fair point.
Quite obviously.
Okay. I think that's all the questions I have just randomly.
Yeah.
Alright. Well, this was a blast.
Nice.
See you guys maybe on the weekend, depending on how just completely crushed by work.
Yes,
I
oh
am.
my gosh, go write those 6 essays and 3 quizzes and 1
Get them over with and then you'll be
exam
free.
in the next week. All of that in 1 week, ladies and gentlemen.
Week and a half.
Week and a half. Oh, that's wonderful. Well, that makes it fun. What are you panicking about?
Spend more
Week
extra
and a
time.
half. Yeah, go work
Alright.
hard, study hard, look after yourself.
Yep.
Have fun, don't die.
Goodbye.
Life motto.
See you then.
Bye. And the layout is ruined. Ooh.
What stories would Reina tell Hattie?
Ooh.
Because wouldn't Candlekeep have at least the archive of Reina's family thus far?
Yeah.
You're muted, by the way.
Thank you. It's great. It's perfect now.
Probably like on a, how do I say this? On a
I think they have a family
family
tree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And maybe like the technicalities of who.
Yeah, I'm curious. I might need to
Yeah.
talk to Jenks about this because I think Reina's family would know what books would be in Candlekeep about them. Because their family is like, because like her mother is part of like the highest 3 people in the god of in the what do you call it?
Paladins of how and
Yeah.
Yeah.
Her
I know what you mean, but yeah, it's
her
escaped me.
stepfather is is one of the highest paladins. Her
Yeah.
mother is one of the highest clerics in
Ah.
the church.
Yeah.
Like elder something.
What a match.
Yeah. So I think Candlekeep would know about her mother and her father, like who they are and their entire family.
But they know the dark secrets. The secret diaries of the
Yeah.
Varons.
But I don't think Reina would tell the story. like she would not allow Hattie to write that down because
Would
it
it-
will ruin her family name.
What about like maybe not like the family story, but like maybe stories that she's experienced and witnessed?
She might like tell a few stories, but I'm not really sure if those would be interesting enough about like to tell to get us into Candlekeep. She did fight in when the like she did fight. I'm forgetting the name about from this, but she did fight when the church got destroyed in Waterdeep like 100 years ago.
Yeah.
She might give some like personal views on what happened there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But other than that, I don't think like her stories would be interesting enough to get us into Candlekeep.
I was stuck at home most of my life.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. No.
I think if Hattie were to ask about like the dark family secret, Reina would ask Hattie not to write it down.
Yeah.
What do you guys
to keep the name protected?
No, yeah. What do you guys think is the limit of being like interesting or not interesting for Candlekeep? Because I haven't asked Janks that. Hey Janks, here's a question. Rather than asking you guys know nothing. Janks, what's the kind of level of like what they accept? Because I'm guessing like
They accept journals.
yeah, like they accept like do they accept like storybooks for like children? What's the line here, you know?
I think they would accept almost everything, but it needs to be like valid information.
Yeah.
Yeah, and something that
Either
they haven't got before.
Something that's
Yeah.
incredibly rare and only one of. Would
I
probably
don't
be the
think
limit,
it has to
but
be incredibly rare, to be honest.
Yeah.
Because
And
if that
something
were the
handmade.
case,
Yeah.
I think it would have to be new information or a deeper insight into a story that's already told.
Yeah. Because I'm guessing they have stuff on the Waterdeep battle that you're talking about. I'm guessing
The
that they
Waterdeep
have
fight. Yeah.
that thing, you know.
I think Snipe would just try and submit the Oxford Dictionary. Just
Here
full
you
of
go.
these words you don't know of like the definitions of what they are.
Another
Telephone.
Automobile.
Here's how a combustion engine works. You
Oh,
compress
would
air and fuel. You set it on fire.
how would Candlekeep go about Snipe just submitting literal their Polaroid, like the photograph? Because that's not
Ooh.
handwriting, but it's new and interesting.
I think they do artifacts as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they are. Or you are an artifact. Hattie is an
Yeah.
artifact. Yeah,
I am an
Hattie is an artifact collector. That's
Yeah.
that's one of the missions of the Seekers.
So would Snipe be willing to part with it though?
That's the thing. Snipe's currently keeping it on them right now because they're very interested in how the binding thing's going to work, and if there's a specific object that's needed to bind a demon, then if that Polaroid counts as a valid object, they would bind the demon to it. If that be the case, then they wouldn't submit it to Hattie.
Yeah, but I mean it's going to take a while to get to Candlekeep anyway, so it's not like
Yeah.
she'd be like, I'm taking this now, and then like hold it.
Yeah, it depends on how
Feeling
Snipe goes
time
through.
takes.
It depends on how Snipe goes through the identity crisis of after reincarnation and how they're going to see themselves after everything.
Yeah, if they want to keep it as a memory.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Snipe would probably only tell one story, and it would probably be that mixed half story of like how they first met Morwen, which is coinciding with the first story of their first ever murder.
Murder mystery book.
Yeah, just submit that
make
as
it a
like a diary entry.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just there's so much interesting stuff that you could like submit. I mean, Hattie could probably submit her
Account of everything that's happened on the journey thus far.
right, but I don't want to do that because that would just be one entrance to Candlekeep. And now I also can't remember if it's like one.
You could just
book for the group of
categorize it
us
into
or
like
one-
different.
Yeah, tabs.
Just categorize it into different chapters. Like you could categorize
Volumes.
the events in the Misty Forest.
Yeah.
And like.
Yeah. You also have the entire entry of like the dude writing in your book that you got possessed by. That's also an entire entry you have
Yeah, you can submit that.
Gosh.
Make that separately.
of the Dragon Calls.
Yes.
You completely rewrite it in a different book, I believe.
Yeah.
Um,
There's a theory of
Dragon
like Dragon Spear as well.
Yeah.
dude. Diary entry.
Yeah.
And then there's
Yeah,
the
thank
front
you for
the
noticing.
front line
None of my
account
notes
of the
make
battle
sense.
with the Yuanti, because you
Yeah.
were on the front row and you just
Yeah.
threw rocks at him.
Yeah, frontline Yuanti battle. You also have the
History
hidden
of
tomb of Torm in the hills of Daggerford, with like the hidden entry, where you I believe you were like curled up in furs and you were drawing the entire tomb.
Yeah. I think you were doing that.
Yeah.
I need to go back and see. I need to keep a record of everything I take notes of.
I think
luckily we have
I
archived our bots.
I can almost certainly say Hattie was like, I'm gonna curl up into furs and just start sketching the room.
Yeah, that
What
does
was
ring a
this?
bell.
What was this of?
That was
was
the
like
one
the-
shot when
the
after
Daggerford.
after we'd killed the majority of the goblins that
yeah.
were in the
Shannon.
entrance of the tomb that killed Kaya, and then Kaya
Yeah.
came back, and then we just had like a moment's respite, and
Yeah.
then you just said, "I'm just gonna curl up in furs and start drawing."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because like we opened the door to the back door tomb, basically,
Mm.
the hidden one
Yeah.
Did
where
do that,
Reina
didn't
found the
I?
sword.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay, yeah, like there's tons of stuff. But yes, the question is it one book for all of us or one book each? Because one book each makes it a little bit more difficult.
I'm curious if this like Snipe could fill an entire book, like Snipe their
Yeah.
entire world.
Hattie
But like
could just
Reina,
like submit us all some homework. Go buy a book and write. See if you can
Yeah.
fill the book.
yeah. I think Snipe's story would be interesting enough to get us in, but like Reina's stories would not be interesting. And I think if Kaya is not willing to write everything down,
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
would also not be interesting enough.
I don't think
Split
Seymour's-
chapters.
Maybe
Yeah.
Seymour's would be. I don't really know.
Seymour's of the night market, I believe. Like
Yeah. I don't think it will. The only technically interesting thing you could probably talk about is like whatever. Do you think? I don't think he can talk about anything because it's all very highly confidential. And if he talks about it, he'd get killed.
Yeah.
He's
It's either
signed
the
so
Infernal
many
or the drug
NDAs.
cartel he was part of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He will die if he tells you and if he writes it
Yeah.
down.
So I think it's just between Hattie and Snipe,
Snipe.
really, just like taking their
And
stories,
the
and just
one
like
water deep
categorizing
thing for
them.
Reina. Yeah.
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 But then there's all the adventures that were currently going on. But it's
Yeah.
how to divvy up the.
Yeah.
I think maybe if we go to the Underdark and Hattie is still with Reina, that might also give some interesting information because I don't know how much information Candlekeep has about the Underdark
That's a good point.
and about the society over there.
Yeah, to see.
Yeah.
It's an interesting conundrum.
You gotta take notes, Becca.
I do.
Gotta be Hattie.
Yeah.
How? I had a question.
You did.
It's gone. What a time to be alive,
How?
ladies, gentlemen, and
How?
everyone who is better than all of us.
It started with how.
What? So
Who,
for
what, when, why, and where. We'll fish it out of you no matter what, Becca. Go on.
Yes. How?
What do you guys think? It was a different starting word.
What? Okay. What?
Okay, what do we think?
What do you guys think? Full stop. End of question. That's not how questions end. It's question mark. My brain is melting out of my ears.
Please submit the answer before that melts out too.
Yeah.
What do you guys think the likelihood is that Hattie will be able to get special passes to let you guys in whether you have books or not? And do you think it would mean that you guys would have to join Candlekeep in some way?
I think we might need to make a really good name for ourselves.
Yeah.
Like adventurers that are known across Faerun.
Yeah. Well, like as Jack said, like you start at 1%, you can't go lower than that. So I think you should just leave it at that.
Yeah, that sounds
There's
about right.
always a chance.
Yeah, there is no such thing as a 0% chance.
Yeah. I think like that's something I believe that's written in the DMG, that you start out as local heroes, then you go to regional heroes, then you go to city heroes, and then you go to like entire country heroes. So it's basically like you build up your reputation as you go. So if we're part of the big fight in Elturel and we're like known as the heroes over there, then that information will spread and we will get a name for ourselves. I think that makes sense.
Surely in the Yuan-Ti fight, we kind of made a name for
Yeah.
ourselves.
Mm.
Yeah, because
But Reina
everyone in
certainly
the
did.
yeah.
Reina did.
So I think it's about building a name, and then also submitting a few books to show that we are here not only to take information but also give information. And then I think if we build like kind of a good reputation with Candlekeep, besides Hattie, we are allowed to enter
Besides
and
Hattie. Body, assume we have
Yeah,
a
but-
good relationship.
you're a child of Candlekeep.
That's a good point.
So you're a
Mhm.
part of Candlekeep.
I want to know if Hattie's like the only child of Candlekeep, or if this is something that happens regularly, where they just take orphans.
I think that's regularly, to be honest. It's a
Maybe.
great way to import children.
Import
Yeah.
Very
To say it
CarpeDM.
rudely.
We do not support the use of
The
child
importation
labour
of
No.
children.
or the importation of any worker when they are in a vulnerable position.
Yeah.
Don't slave trade, kids.
I'm glad that we got to this
Yeah.
point where we have to give a warning. to
Disclaimer,
people,
warning,
to
yeah.
remind people.
Don't do it.
Yeah.
No, we're not behind it. Don't do
Don't
it.
do it. Just don't.
Just don't. The,
Just
Oh, yeah.
say no.
the anti-Nike.
Don't do it.
Just
But yeah, I
don't
think-
do it.
Okay, going back to the topic, I think it's a thing that regularly happens. Like,
Yeah.
because like, if someone is from an orphanage, they grow up and they need to be adopted into a family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what better way to get them into your organization and help them being raised there?
Yeah, but the thing is, even though Hattie was 16 when she aged out of the orphanage, she aged out of the orphanage. She wasn't like adopted by Candlekeep or like
She had like an apprenticeship
up.
with them.
Yeah.
Elfan.
Elephant.
I know these people. Yeah, she wasn't like adopted by Elephant. It was just a case of I caught you pickpocketing. You're actually really good at it. We need someone to come steal things. I mean, request things from individuals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's how she.
Got into Candlekeep.
Yeah. She's just like Pip from Great Expectations. Like as soon as she reached a certain age, just a sudden sponsorship came along and said, "Here's some money. Now please work for me."
Yeah.
Actually, maybe I might have that wrong. I think I got the timeline wrong because I think she was there for the Great Fire.
Yeah, she was there for Great Fire.
So
Yeah,
that means that an acquisitionist didn't exist before that.
No.
So she was just brought in.
You were pickpocketing Elephant probably. Elephant
Yeah.
noticed it and was like, "Oh, you have fast hands. You are good with this. We can use someone like this."
Yeah, go
'Cause,
play
like,
bumper cars in our libraries.
Besides the Great Fire, like Candlekeep always wants information, so they would not
Yeah.
they would always have people to get stuff for them. And then when the Great Fire happened, it became an important part of Candlekeep to get the information back.
Who's the youngest in the group?
It's Hattie, right?
I think so. How old is she?
20.
Just that. Just leave it at that.
I want to say like 23, 24?
Hmm.
No older than like 25 or 26.
Alright.
But
I-
she joined Candlekeep when she was 16. The Great Fire happened a little after that. And then she was an acquisitionist for a few years. 22, 23?
Makes sense.
Yeah.
I think Hattie's the youngest.
Because y'all are immortal beings or don't age normally.
I do.
Kaya's probably closest to my age. Hattie's
Yeah,
age.
and then Seymour, I think.
Yeah.
I believe I asked Dave, and Dave said that Seymour was about early 30s or end 20s, I believe.
It's
Yeah.
the same age as.
Like
30 was in the middle of his age range.
And Snipe remembered their age 26, I believe. That was the last age they remembered.
Yeah, that was when they died, and then
Yeah.
they were just reincarnated or like brought back to life.
Yeah.
And then just spent a couple of centuries just jumping up and down the place, never really aging or like decaying at the same time.
Nice.
Mm.
It's
Who
a
knows
way
what
to
age they are now, technically? Because if they are dying of an aging spell.
I think that's really the case. Like, if they died, they got not reincarnated, resurrected.
Yeah.
I always mix those two words.
Mm.
But they got resurrected, possessed by a demon, and they are still like 24, but like they're into like it makes sense. Like they died at 24, got possessed by a demon, got brought back up, and now the demon left them, so their body is aging very quickly.
Yeah.
Because it needs to take, like, if Snipe has been alive for like 200 years with the demon inside of them,
Yeah, it's
the
catching
body
up.
has been living for 200 years but hasn't been decaying because the demon has been keeping it up.
Yeah. They're not technically aging, it's just the decaying process is catching up with them.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's nice that you didn't die instantly, though. That's always kind.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Demon
That's
left you,
because
Snipe.
Janks didn't know what to do. Like, after that moment happened, it was literally such a 1 in a million chance that what happened to Snipe happened that he just came to me and said, we need to try and make this some kind of incentive for Snipe, so what should we do? And I suggested, they're slowly dying.
You dug your own
So
grave.
it's your
Damn.
fault.
Yeah, of course it's my fault.
You dug your own grave.
My character is an enigma in the D&D world. Of course I have to sit with Janks and say, okay, I understand that it could, I need to have some kind of reason for my character to be there,
Yeah.
to be pursuing something.
It
So
didn't
was
really
just
work
like-
out, to be honest.
Yeah. And God knows what the heck he was planning, like, outside of the 1 in a million chances, because...
Oh, jeez. Yeah, hey, Janks, what were you planning outside the 1 in a million chance?
I think he said he
If you wanna-
forgot. He discussed it with me and Carl, and he said he kind of forgot, because, like, I don't
It
think...
didn't
I
happen.
mean, it's not
Go
relevant,
back to them.
so,
Yeah.
Yeah. He's running a hell of an interesting story from it, though.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I think it really, like, implements Snipe into the world to give them a reason to
Yeah.
adventure and try
Yeah.
risks, basically.
Yeah.
Attempt to get somewhere.
Well, on that note, it's been like an hour, so I vote we take a break because I'm slowly melting, dehydrating, and my brain is turning off. So,
Yeah.
Yeah. Sounds like a good idea.
okay. 5-10 minute break? Yeah.
It probably gotta get 20, but sure.
We'll see how it is.
Don't call me out like this. Okay.
Sure.
We'll see you guys in a bit. Bye.
See you in a bit.
That's amazing.
Yeah, we were just sitting here chatting about like languages in D&D, and I figured we might as well do this live. So
Yeah.
yeah, no, I like. If I learn a bit more Korean, it would be really cool to like be like, I'm speaking like halfling. I'm sure some people would be like, just like that. Maybe like has someone created like D&D languages? Like is halfling an actual language?
Yeah,
'Cause,
there
like,
is.
people have...
They must have done. There are people who invent languages for like films and shows. So yeah.
Yeah, I believe in the player's handbook there's also like a guide, a small guide to languages.
Imagine if it's Pig Latin.
I kind of
Probably.
want to learn Pig Latin.
Oh, they created the script.
Luren. So Luren is the actual name of like halfling.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So they have an alphabet. That's
Yeah.
fun. It looks absolutely nothing like Hangul.
No, they like in the player's handbook they have created the alphabet indeed. Like they have a dwarfish, elfish, and draconic script. But that's about it. They don't really.
I could just start spouting random phrases that I know. Like, I can't speak Korean. What I love is how one of the first things that you learn is hello, my name is my name.
Yeah, and I can't speak this
and
language.
I can't speak this language.
Help me! I can't speak this language. No.
Which is like it like works if like you're going somewhere and like you need to know like where's this hotel and can I have a taxi please? My name is.
My hovercraft is full of eels.
Yes.
Important phrases, but to like when you're learning it for like just learning a language, the first thing you'll learn is like, dude, I cannot speak this language.
I'm trying, but I can't.
It's just it feels like kind of offensive to you that like we don't think you're gonna get very far on this course or learning this language. So here's just a universal phrase that you need.
Yeah.
What was this is so not talking about D&D right now, but what was like the process of learning English in the Netherlands? Like where do you start, if you know what I mean?
Well, nowadays they start in like the first year of child school, basically. Yeah. They're like, we're gonna teach you basic language, like basic English skills, like saying yes, no, being able to count, and just like my name is. Like basically that's the moment you turn 4 or 5, they're like, we're gonna teach you on school. But I actually started, I believe, one of the last years of my middle school. I think that's about correct, because like when I was growing up, English was not really an important language just yet. But nowadays it becomes more and more important.
Yeah.
So I started like
Woo!
Yeah. I started last year of middle school, and then in high school you get it all the way through. But they basically what they want you to do is start with the grammar, not even sentences or words. They just want you to know the grammar. So you just have to recite grammar rules and being able to apply them to words. And then eventually in second grade or the second year of high school, they are like, okay, you get a list of 50 words, go practice them. We'll come back in a week and we'll have a test on them to see. Yeah, in a week. They would do that like for an entire semester, for every week a different list of words. And then you would have to translate them, being able to apply them to different tenses and to different grammatic standards, basically. And I didn't find that really helpful, to be honest. My English has very much more improved. That's a good sentence. Very much. Yes, yes. That's the proof of my grammatic skills. Yeah.
Very much more.
No, my English skills has improved a lot more by speaking it and actually working almost weekly, and speaking English almost weekly.
I mean, I think D&D is like a brilliant way to learn languages, if you know what I mean, because you're having conversations with people in like a non-embarrassing, I know we're streaming, so it doesn't really count, but like in like a non-embarrassing, publicly with
Yeah.
consequences way, and you're also saying I am going to go do this. We
Yeah.
did this, and like so you end up using like the tenses and stuff. I think it's really cool. If only I was at a little higher level of Korean, I would do that.
I think it's fun because like we started in March last year. We
Yeah.
started doing this, and that like I was supposed to have like my finals,
Yeah.
but because of the entire pandemic stuff, that didn't happen. The entire exams got cancelled and everything. But I did have to do a speaking test in English, and if I look back at that speaking test now, and if I were able to do it again, it would be so much different because I've been speaking this year. Like I'm speaking more English this year than I've had in my entire life.
I'm sorry we were a year too late for you.
Yeah.
It's fine.
And I'm sorry that me and Becca were your closest references of English, and the pair of us, neither of us can speak it clearly.
We cannot England the well.
No.
Yeah, but like it's
can I
better to talk like you watch videos, you watch movies, you pick up on the language, but you don't really speak it back. Like if you're watching a movie, you hear it and you're processing what they're saying. But it's weird to start talking back. I need to say that properly to the movie to completely recite, like give answers.
Yeah.
So being able to have people that you're talking with, like that are asking a question and describing a story, you are able to like talk back to them without feeling weird because you have someone to practice with.
Yeah. Was it something you worried about when we were first doing this?
You don't want to know how anxious I was. I had a full-blown panic attack the first time we started streaming.
No.
Yeah.
Aww.
I was incredibly anxious because like I knew my English wasn't good enough, and to jump into a stream talking in a different character, basically playing D&D for the first time in a long time in a different language with people you are kind of looking up to and are like, I don't know how to talk to you. I have no clue how to conversate with you. Help.
It was any consolation, the first stream of that, I was also having a panic attack, but for very different reasons, so we were both suffering in that stream.
It was just like, I was like, I remember that day vividly. Like, I was sitting downstairs and we were eating, and I was just shaking. I could not eat anything. I was just like, I don't know how to handle this. I don't know how to do this. Help me.
And tell me if you're now having panic attacks, you feel like okay to tell us beforehand.
Yeah. But like that.
Warnings.
Yeah, it was like because I like that month I had the English speaking test and I got a 7 out of 10, I believe. Like it's still pretty okay, but I knew my English, like I knew the basic phrases, but I wasn't really prepared to talk full-blown conversation. And then doing it in someone else's shoes, playing a character.
We saw the deep end and we were like, that's cute, and we chucked you in the ocean, didn't we?
You're like, there you go.
We basically said, oh, this must be really bad for you. Well, we'll give you the worst case possible so that this seems like a piece of cake.
Yeah.
So,
Jesus.
Weirdly enough, it helped to do it because I'm very much like I like to think about it first and then do it. But when I get chucked into the situation, I just try to my best to get out of it. Like not to get out of it, but like basically fill the hour up, make sure you're okay at the end and you're understood, and then being able to go back and live your life again.
I mean, like that's the thing of like listening to people who have like learned another language. The thing that they say help them so much is being in like fight or flight of like, I have moved to this country and I'm only like 30% fluent and I need to get a job, I need to get food, I need to talk to my neighbors, I need to, not get in trouble with
be
the
a functional human being in this.
Right?
Yeah.
So like
it's very insane how it works because like it's not only the first session that I was not panicking. Well, the first session was very, very tense, but like I think the next 3 months has been every single time before I jumped into a stream or before I jumped into the call, I needed to calm myself down to get into the flow of being able to talk.
Should have said something.
If I would, it would not have helped. Because if I were like, I'm not doing okay, I would not be able to function at all.
Yeah. Like,
I needed to
admitting
push
it
through
makes
it and
worse.
just
Yeah, and knowing Dave, he would have stopped everything. Cause
Yeah,
as
and I
soon
was
as
like-
as soon as he notices something's wrong with someone, he'll immediately say, "Oh well, we'll just not do it at all." And in many ways, for some people, it's like, well, that's probably the worst possible case because
Yeah.
then you're kind of to the point where it's like, oh, now I feel bad that I
Mhm.
stopped this.
Yeah.
And it suggests that you aren't capable of it, not that, and it like confirms the anxiety.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, you know, I myself said yes to this. I accepted to participate in this event. So it's my responsibility to be able to socialize and be able to deal with it. So if I every single time before a stream say I'm not doing well, why would I have said yes to join?
Yeah.
Like it doesn't make sense.
Mm.
I should be capable enough to do it because I was confident in myself that I would be able to talk English and just speak to the people I play with. And that's also a part of me like not wanting to admit that I'm not capable of it because like I am capable of it. I know I am, but I just need to find that moment where it switches on.
Yeah.
Did you like do anything extra? Were you like, okay, I gotta start studying English a lot, or was it just like, I'm just gonna stick to these? This is just turning into like a personal language learning Q&A.
Yeah.
No, I didn't particularly started to learn more English or anything. I kind of went with the flow. Sometimes I would ask my mom to just talk English with me instead of Dutch, to ask like, we'll be able to have the entire day and only speaking English. And whenever we need to, we talk in Dutch because I wouldn't know the words. Like only if you don't know the words for it, you can say it in Dutch. But I think I pretty much just evolved and learned by talking with you guys.
Damn, that's an absolutely horrific thought. When I about my English.
Oh my god, we're influencing.
Yeah, but
so
like
much
you guys are
education.
natives. You guys are natives, and you guys, even though your
Even though
guys'
we
English is
bloody
not
hate our country.
like no one's English is perfect, but being able to talk with natives who don't know the other language, who don't know another language as their first language, is damn helpful because they are only able to talk to you in English, and if you make a mistake, they're like, okay, you made a mistake, but whatever. If you talk to a Dutch person in English, they're like, oh yeah, but that's Dutch grammar. You used this word wrong.
Yeah.
Because they know the other language you're speaking.
Yeah.
Mm.
No, I mean with like the point of everything on my desk just shook. That's fun. Like the thing is with languages, it's about communicating, right? And that's like everything from like sign language to like verbal language, or written. It's just about communicating. It doesn't matter technically if you make a mistake, as long as people know what you're talking about. It's fine.
If they're able to understand the basic premise of what you're trying to say, you're good.
Yeah. If there was one language in like all of the world that you could speak just instantly, what would it be? Just like take a pill and like know the language.
I think Japanese.
Japanese, yeah.
Yeah, I'm very intrigued in that language. I quite like the culture. It's just, I think it's a very cool language to learn.
Yeah, same. It'd probably be that. It would be between Japanese, but also one would be universal sign language. So at least then, so at least then you've at least got a good middle ground of saying like, well, I can still communicate like universally because it's better to know the language that's universal
than
than just sticking to one and then putting yourself in a corner where no one knows what the fuck you're talking about.
I have decided to learn this very unique language and I'm the only one and no one can speak it with me.
Yeah.
We should probably talk about D&D.
Should do, yeah.
Crimson Petal. Yeah, beans. Beans. Bag of beans.
Bag of beans.
Dave is very lucky.
Was just like a personal quick Q&A from me to Carmen about language learning.
If you ever have more questions, just ask them.
Yeah.
But yeah, we fought a tree.
Yeah.
We fought 3 trees. Actually.
We made a campfire and fought a tree.
Yeah.
I simultaneously love and hate that Dave was like cheering us on.
Yeah.
to like do the bean thing because like it
Yeah.
was dope. But at the same
Mhm.
time, I don't think as a group we would have done it. Otherwise, we'd have just been like, okay, that's cool, moving on. You know?
Yeah.
I think he's lucky with Rascal in the group, with like in situations like these,
Yeah.
Yeah.
because he's like, okay, it's something you can use. Let's give it a try. Let's see what the outcome is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, Dave has just set us up in a situation where it's like anything that looks slightly off, run away from because it's dangerous. And so
Yeah.
I don't think he had the rights to be like upset with us if we had like left the bag
Yeah.
there, because he's kind of so far the campaign's taught us don't trust anything, and
Yeah.
he's done that because it's his campaign.
Yeah. I think what would Dave do if we just started not interacting with all of these things? We're just like, that
think-
looks like a trap. We're going this way.
Yeah. I think he will get upset, but not at us.
Yeah, he'd get
Like
angry
behind
with
the
himself.
screen. Yeah.
He'd restart the whole campaign, just like, okay, I fucked up. I'll be sensible.
I don't think he'll restart the campaign. I think he'll try to like go into a reflective mode and just kind of see where things went wrong.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I feel like he'll just like change things up. He's
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
so. It's one of the things that like I really admire about Dave is that he's just like resilient. If you know what I mean. Like I
Yeah.
don't think
Yeah.
I've ever like met someone who I've like I would describe them as being resilient, but he's just like, okay, this happened, moving on. And like I
Yeah.
really admire that about him.
Yeah.
I don't know when this turned into stroking Dave's ego hour, but
I mean, we sure Janks' ego most of the
Yeah.
time.
that's
So.
true. That's true.
I think it's very nice that Dave like he knows when to say yes and he knows when to say no.
Yeah.
Mm.
He's not in betweening. He's not like yeah, but no,
Yeah.
well, yeah, you could,
Yeah.
but no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like no is no and yes is yes. And
Yeah,
that's,
he's honest, which I
yeah.
think like is better than saying he's tolerable,
Iffy.
because he is tolerable of us, but he'll let us know when we're fucking around and he's getting annoyed.
yeah.
And, like when we're fucking around.
He is a very direct person.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, he is. But
he'll tolerate it, but he has a timestamp for how much
Yeah.
he will tolerate.
But
Yeah.
he also doesn't use his directness in a way of like, well, that's my opinion, you know? Like, there are
Mhm.
so many people who are direct, but they're direct purely for the purposes of being an arsehole 24/7. And I know
Yeah.
we call Dave an arsehole, but he isn't really. He's very sweet.
No.
Yeah. That's just British humour.
Yeah.
Whenever you find a best friend, you insult them.
You're an asshole.
Yeah. Call everyone an ass.
I think that's universal.
Yeah.
Kind of a universal thing. Just like the
Yeah.
moment you're a good friend with someone, you call them a
You call them an
asshole.
It's like, I love you,
Like-
fuck you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, to be honest, I did that all the times with like my friends in school. Like, what the fuck are you talking about, you fucking idiot? And I'd be like, I do kind of love you still, but fuck you.
Yeah.
I love you, but like in a
No.
fuck you kind of way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was I saying? Yeah, he's direct, but not in an arsehole way, which is nice.
Yeah. He is a bloke.
He's a what?
A
Really?
bloke.
What we're talking about? Beans.
Yeah.
Do you
He
actually?
gave us beans.
Do you think we're gonna actually use these beans?
I think we're gonna forget about them. at
Yeah,
some
probably.
point. Forget we have them.
And someone's gonna sit on a bag by mistake or something and
No,
just
just-
explode.
We're gonna yuck the bag and forget that like they explode if you throw the bag.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think, well, you need to dump the you need to dump the beans out to let
Yeah.
them explode.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
if you just drop the bag, it should be fine. But if you dump them out all at once, they will explode.
Yeah.
I'm kind of like I don't like when would this be useful other than in a I dare you to plant a bean type situation?
Yeah, I think it's actually
Yeah.
just there for shits and giggles about it, because the fact that it's random,
Mhm.
like you have to roll to see what on earth comes out of the bean, indicates that like yeah, this is
Yeah.
literally just for shits and giggles, and maybe a once in a
This
lifetime
is-
opportunity. You
Yeah.
use it in the right place at the right
Yeah.
time, and it does the right thing.
Maybe if we are on an adventure or we just finish an adventure and we're like, we want to go on another adventure, we want to give it a try, we just drop a bean and see what happens.
Yeah.
It's another campfire. Great.
If it's
time
another
to
campfire,
relax.
okay, let's sit around it, let's enjoy our time. Or if it's, I
Yeah.
think a beanstalk is
Yeah.
very like it's. I
Yeah,
think
it's
that's
very
something that can happen.
magic beans, Jack and the Beanstalk
Yeah.
esque. And when we mentioned it in the campaign, Dave said that like if that did actually happen, that would actually be like a real quick shortcut to another idea he has
Yeah.
for an arc. So
I
just
think
take
it's
a quick
just
shortcut.
Yeah, I
Quick
think it's something
shortcut.
for us to use whenever we are either bored or just want to do something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm so
Like,
glad Hattie doesn't have access to these beans.
Oh my gosh, she'd eat them.
Yeah.
She'd end up like the cobalt we
Oh,
found.
for Cobalt.
In the middle of the night, she would
Wait.
take the bag and she would plant all of them
All
at
of them.
once.
And then run away.
And then just from a
And
distance,
then
you just
see
hear.
what happens.
That would
It's like
be very
everything goes
risky.
off at once. 5 different tree beards and 27 campfires and 12 beanstalks and Hatties in the center of it all, just like, look at the world I've created.
I've created something.
Yeah.
Wait,
Oh, God.
Okay. What was your first thoughts on the Cobalt lying on the floor?
I thought it was an oblex. I thought it was like a setup because the fact that he was surrounded by a strange liquid, I just thought, oh, that's an oblex.
Yeah, I was like, this is a ritual and just is a trap.
Yeah.
Yeah. My first thought was like, did he piss himself to death or something? Like, what happened there? Like, I was so confused about the liquid around him. I'm like,
Yeah. To be honest, I did think that as soon as like Dave said, "Oh, it's watery, but it's a strange kind of water and that it's
Yeah.
orangey," I was just like, "Did he have too many Barocas and just piss himself?"
what happened here? I really didn't know what to think of it. I was just like,
Well, he
he
was
probably
overwhelming
died.
in vitamin C because
Yeah.
apparently it was just orange juice.
Guys.
Yeah, sorry, that's just what went through my mind. I was like, I'm not sure what happened here. Anything
Yeah.
could have happened,
The
to be honest.
self-restraint I had to have as boy when Kia and Rascal were just like blown away and just like had that thing explode in their face covered in orange juice. I was just like, that might not be the first time that both of them get sticky.
God damn it, boy. God damn it.
And I had so much self-restraint as boy to say that.
Oh my.
We agreed to keep everything in that arena PG-13.
Yeah,
Well, this is not PG-13.
you can make jokes about it, but still, what the fuck?
Guys, come on.
No, I think it's fun to eventually like being able to joke about it. 'Cause,
Yeah,
like,
yeah. 100%,
Yeah.
but
But still,
boy.
yeah. I think like I wanted to cut the kobold's belly open, but why did Kia wanted to do it so fast? Like, what did you expect to happen?
It was like, what's in here? Is it just like malnutrition? You know when you get the bloated stomachs?
Yeah.
When
Oh yeah.
She was like, maybe it's gases, and like I don't want it to explode.
And so you decided to
So-
cut it in order
Yeah,
to
Yeah,
make
then you
it.
decided to let it explode.
So I fucked up.
Control
I'm not gonna let it
demolition.
explode randomly. I'm going to make it explode when I want to, which is now.
Controlled demolition,
Disarming the bomb, ladies and gentlemen.
but
By
standing
letting it go
right
off.
next to it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw like the image that Rascal's just up close inspecting the body if he's really dead, and Kia
Yeah.
just like stabbing it and just like.
just Rascal staying in exactly the same position as him, just poking the body, and just a silhouette behind him of the blast radius around him.
Oh gosh. I am sorry about that.
Yeah, don't be, it's fucking hilarious.
Yeah. I've also realised I'm not throwing this sword that I've got, which you can throw as an
Well, now
attack.
you know.
Oh no, you
I've
can.
known all this time, and halfway through the battle, I'm like, oh my gosh, it's not my go, but I gotta remember I can throw this sword. It's my go again. I'm like, I stabby, stabby.
Yeah, but that's a sword though, because a sword is for stabby.
Well, it's
It
technically
makes
for
sense.
slicey, but
True. You can stabby.
it can stabby, but it do slicey though.
It's
Now you just know
versatile.
you can swoosh.
You can
Yeah,
swoosh.
you
Now
can
I
swoosh
can
as well.
swoosh, slicey, and stabby.
The perfect combo. No, the
Fun.
perfect. Yeah.
Remind
Fantastic
me again
multi-tool.
how your English improved while you were saying to us.
I changed fucking expedition to speed to go fast,
Yeah.
like because I literally couldn't fucking pronounce it.
Expeditious retreat.
Expeditious retreats. Yeah.
Yeah, I keep
You've
wanting to say
been
exhibition.
outdone by
I-
a non-native speaker
Well,
there.
I'm kind of lucky. Like my mom put like certain Dutch words that aren't Dutch word in my head. So like whenever I say scissor, it's schaar, but I say like you have scissors and something to cut with. So
Yeah.
I basically mixed the words of scissor and cut. So I said cut scissor, but a
Yeah.
scissor already cuts.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I have those weird words in Dutch that I use that everyone, whenever I use them in public, everyone's just like, what are you saying? Like, that's not a word.
It's like I am merging them.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Carmen's Dutch.
I'm used to deal with it.
Nice.
What else happened?
Languages. We've spoken
we've-
for like over half an hour about languages.
About
but-
languages. Yeah. We fought the trees from the beans.
Yeah.
That
That
Dave
right.
only recently revealed at the very end of the session that if we killed the original tree beard, I can't even remember the name of like the creature that we were fighting.
Brilliant.
Yeah, tree ant or something. And apparently when that dies, the other two trees it summoned were supposed to die with it.
Yeah, and they were not supposed to be tree ants. They were supposed to be animated trees that can only use the slam attack.
Yeah.
So
I think he did know that because they only used slam attack. Did they?
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
I believe.
Then again, I don't really think we kind of cut them up real quick before we even had the chance to know what they
Yeah,
could fully do.
We did cut them up pretty damn quickly.
Leela did a shit ton of damage.
Yeah, it was, so,
with
it's
their
like
fireballs.
39 or something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
39 and eventually 74 or something.
78.
70. Jesus.
Yeah. Just
She,
burning it all.
at any higher levels,
Yeah.
will be a god.
Yeah.
Speaking of higher levels, we...
got leveled up?
I was going to say graduated.
Not
Yeah.
just yet.
Nope.
Not
But
just.
we leveled up.
Yeah.
Y'all
Yeah.
want to have a chat about things that you've decided for your characters at this brand new level?
Yeah, I guess so.
Don't know why I said it like that.
To make it exciting.
Brain got the no fast juice.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Yes. Well, do you want to start? I
Me?
The-
Moi?
boy or Kia,
What?
you can.
I don't
Sure.
know. Well, there's really much that boy
that
could do.
French?
Boys just like at a point where like
Moi?
every single level up,
Moi?
nothing real significant happens. So
Thank you for confirmation on that. That's Hattie. That is the wrong character.
I'll say, Rascal, aren't you thinking of multiclassing?
Yeah, I decided to multiclass into rogue because I feel
Ooh.
like it would suit him. I'm thinking like when I level up to third level rogue, I'm going swashbuckler.
Swashbuckling.
Swashbuckler.
Swashly, yeah.
Because looking at all the subclasses, yeah. Okay, bye. I feel like that's the one that suits him the most, because you can add your charisma to your initiative, and whenever you attack a creature and you get out their range, they can't attack you.
Yeah.
Something like that. It's very.
He's already a
suiting for
pretty
him.
sneaky boy as well.
Yeah, I think it's a very suiting thing for him to do.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, so Kia took another level in Barbarian. She's basically left the fighter behind.
Mm.
And she has chosen. There has been a decision.
Me, myself, and I have come to a conclusion.
To go for, gosh, what's it called? I can't.
Storm Herald, I believe.
Storm
Path of the
Herald,
Storm
thank
Herald.
Yeah.
And gone for Sea Aura, which is basically lightning in a 10-foot radius around her when she rages.
Yeah,
Nice.
you can pick one creature out to attack, basically.
Yeah.
It's very cool.
And
I think Kia's development is pretty much the fucking meme where it's like, aren't you tired of being nice all the time? Don't you just want to go ape shit?
Yep, that's
Well.
it. That's it.
Rascal has encouraged that.
Russ was like, yes.
Go ape shit.
Yeah.
Lose your mind.
You're not in
And
there
your
anymore.
morals.
You know, well, the fun thing is he doesn't really want. He doesn't, and he is not there to change up the morals or like your entire alignment towards evil. He's like, I can poke it and I can change it. Like I can see where your boundaries are,
Yeah.
but I'm not willing to change it if you don't want it.
Yeah.
Mm.
But I did actually change her
No.
freaking alignment to neutral.
Mhm.
She's just like fully given up on life. She's just like, okay. I guess
Yeah,
I'm
but-
here.
I think you changed it at like the 7th session because
Yeah.
you started playing her and you started to understand who she really is.
Yeah. 'Cause, yeah, I didn't realize how much of the soldier in her had been left behind. You
Mhm.
know? And boy?
What did you take for your level up?
I don't know. Well, I'm still jumping around in the idea. Originally I just went for anything that was interesting. I don't know. Like, Dave's just been buggering me about it. He chooses to bugger me about it when, like, I'm in a bad mood. So
So
that
now
was just
you've
like-
associated leveling up your character with being in a bad
well,
mood.
I'm associated with, like, whatever he suggests. I'm like, nah, fuck that.
Mm-hmm.
So I think right now, currently, I saved it to, like, only taking Wizard Initiate. As, like, a wizard-based magic initiate. Because I think the only reason for that is so that I could get some extra spells. And I think the one thing I just wanted to go for was Boom Blade, which is that if I make an attack with just, like, a regular weapon, if the person then tries to move after the attack, they then get extra damage. Because it's just, like, electrocuted.
Nice.
It's a very cool spell. Oh, cantrip, I believe. It's a spell
I
or
think it's a
cantrip?
cantrip. Oh, no, it's a cantrip, yeah.
Yeah, it's a cantrip. It's a very useful cantrip.
So I just wanted to go for that, but yeah. I don't know. Well, Dave's been jumping all over the place and, like, trying to figure out my character sheet because we realised, oh, there's an issue with Magnus because I keep leveling up, but Magnus doesn't. So
Yeah.
that's why he was crushed during the battle.
Yeah, that makes sense why you would have 15 HP and not been leveling up. Because
Yeah.
we started at level 4 and that's when you got Magnus, I believe.
Yeah.
So that would have been 2 plus... That would have been 6 times 5 times 4. So that would have been around... Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, I think
I can't do
currently...
math, but-
Yeah, I think now that currently he is an actual character sheet, he did level up and he now... Somehow, even though with different dice, he ended up with exactly the same HP as me.
Hey, nice.
Nice. Easy
What's
to
your max
remember.
HP right now?
46.
79.
86.
Yeah, I think you said, oh, if I rolled
Yeah.
high enough, I'd reach, like, in the
Yeah.
hundreds.
Yeah.
That would have been if I rolled a 10 on every single one of my Blood Hunter dice and an 8 on my Rogue die. I would have been in the 102.
Wow.
Yeah. I've been rolling really badly on hit points. Like, unbelievably so.
For the fighter of the group, which is a big inconvenience.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Life, you know? Where do you think this is going? As a general, like, theories. What do you think is going to happen when we get to, you know, the place we're going?
Hi, Moon.
High Moon.
Not sure really. I don't think it's that in depth because this is technically still our first arc.
Yeah.
So I feel like it will seem just like a pretty typical. Oh, go there, find the bad guys, stop the
Yeah.
event from happening,
It's gonna-
save the day.
It's going to get more complicated as time goes on, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm kind of getting the feeling that this will be not easy, but like it's not going to be a complex bit.
Yeah,
of
it's not going to be
The
it's not going to be a
next bit
task
might
of
be.
morals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
It's
next
going to
bit
be a
might
very
but-
straightforward thing.
Yeah.
With like Seeker being the one who is in charge of the cult and us trying to stop the cult from doing something.
Yeah.
And then some moral things happening with the characters trying to convince them or charm them or murder them.
I think it's pretty much a setup where it's like, okay, here's the location we're going to. It's not that important. Just pay attention to all the side quests and the characters around because they're gateways into the other arcs in which we want to go and what
Yeah.
other different characters can do.
Yeah.
I think Dave is also still really trying to figure out his way of DMing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is
So-
fine. It's quite interesting to
yeah.
watch, actually.
Yeah.
Mhm. So I think this is just like a very simple arc that's straightforward, not too many hooks, not too many weird things. But
Yeah.
characters that are linking to our characters. The NPCs are linking
Yeah.
to the PCs in some way.
God, I am so scared when he has like.
When he laughs, we get scared.
God,
Yeah.
I'm just constantly scared. But I'm fully anxious about what's gonna happen when he's, you know, reached full DM power. If you know what I mean. Like he's, you know, leveled up.
Capacity. Jesus.
He's reached
And when he's-
like
capacity.
20 DM.
Yeah.
Yeah.
got all-
When he's
all
talking
of
to
his
Janks
hit
as
points.
well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that scares me. No
Yeah,
offense,
because
Janks, but-
Dave is a very because he's a gamer, of course. He likes to optimize
Yeah.
everything and making the story like balancing out the story with the
Interacting. The combat.
combat. Thank you.
Yeah.
It's quite
Well-
nice that it's predictable in that, like, we're gonna get combat now.
Yeah.
And we get a little bit of time off. And we're gonna get
Yeah, anytime Dave gets excited when we're doing something, be careful. Because that means we're gonna walk into something and have to fight something.
Either fight or talk our way out.
I love it when he picks up his mug. It has like this like
He has that fucking shit-eating grin on his face.
and then just like sits back with it and just like
Yeah.
oh no, we are literally just his entertainment for the evening. Fuck.
Yeah.
We are.
Man. Well, my brain has fully come to a stop now. There is a pigeon staring at me, and I think we've questioned life enough, you know?
Yeah.
I feel like there should be a profound way to end this. Alas, my brain is not providing that.
Knowledge is knowledge.
Alas, poor Yorick,
Knowledge
he had a
is-
better brain than me.
Oh. Okay, bye guys. Thank you for turning up to the podcast.
Right.
Campaign.
A bit later than usual.
Later than usual. Campaigns, normal time.
We've updated the YouTube and Twitch, so everything should be.
Everything's updated. I also.
We should have a link to our YouTube and a link to our social medias, and I think I corrected the schedule to what it's supposed to be. I
Okay,
think.
that's good.
Yeah.
I'm also working on some like development-y stuff, which I haven't actually told anyone on the team about yet.
I'm just doing it.
I'm
Used
just
to
doing
us.
it. Just a few ideas. I'm just putting some stuff together, and we're gonna have our first meeting, guys.
Nice.
After a year of doing this.
After a
Yeah.
year of doing this, we're gonna finally sit down and be like,
After a year
What
of starting
is
this
this?
company, I think we should know who entirely is working for this company.
yeah.
Don't
Start
sue
us
us.
to call the
We,
employees.
we've had meeting before, you know. We've talked about this. We're not completely in the dark.
We have the pigeons flew away.
Yeah.
Apparently, I wasn't that interesting. No, we have had meetings. It's just been like after stuff or before things, or like just like typing in the chats. But it's
Impromptu combos.
Yeah, but it's never been like we need to talk about this level.
No.
But guys, we need to talk about this.
Yeah.
I love how it always comes up at the end of the podcast. We're always like,
Yeah.
we need to talk about it, you know?
We need
It's
to
important.
talk
Let's
about
talk
this.
about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Some of this stuff you'll see, some of it you won't. But get excited for that, I guess. I don't know how to hype people. I don't know. Keep an eye on our Twitter, maybe. It's probably going to be another year until anything happens, knowing my level of productivity. But hey.
I should really send you those the banner thing I created to also put that on.
Yeah.
I created the thing I created for Twitch banner. I should send that to you to add that to the Twitter as well.
Yes, please do that. Yeah. That would be absolutely freaking wonderful. Okay, right. That's enough rambling for today. We will see you guys soon, future times.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay, bye.
Bye.